Hey, it's David from Imply, and today we're going to answer the question, what is Apache Druid, and why are thousands of companies like Confluent, Target, Twitter, Salesforce, and so many others building with Apache Druid when there are so many other databases and data warehouses of the like out there in the market? And so let's get to it. The best way to think about Apache Druid is put it in the context of the use cases that you're trying to build. And there are really two different types of use cases to consider here. The first is the world of analytics. And when we think about the world of analytics, what kind of technologies come to mind? Well, we're obviously thinking about data warehouses. And we're thinking about technologies like Snowflake. We're thinking about technologies like Google BigQuery. And we're also thinking about technologies like Amazon Redshift. And what are the kind of traits that exist within analytics? Well, when we're building for analytics, we care about OLAP queries and the ability to process large aggregations and group by queries on potentially terabytes to petabytes of data. But not only that, the data set that is contained within these kind of queries are typically of high dimensionality or high cardinality. Now, in the world of analytics, we're typically thinking about use cases where you're trying to do an executive report, you're trying to build some type of dashboard for business intelligence, and the kind of technologies you see here are a perfect fit for that kind of use case. The one caveat about analytics is that the type of systems that are designed for BI and reporting don't have the highest performance sensitivity because the type of reports that you're trying to generate don't have to be delivered in subsequent query response times. But that's A-OK when it comes to data warehouses and this particular workload. Now, when you think about performance sensitivity, now we're all of a sudden in the world of applications. And in the world of applications, we start thinking about transactional. Let me get that line to come in clear. We're starting to think about transactional databases, and the kind of technologies that come to mind are MongoDB. We're also thinking about Postgres. Let's see if I can draw my elephant. And we're also thinking about potentially Cassandra. Now, what characterizes application requirements? Well, you got to have sub-second response times. You have to be able to support high concurrency. And last but not least, is you have to be able to support operational workflows and leveraging real-time data as it's generated in the moment. Now, when you look at these two different use cases, they couldn't be far from the same. Because in the world of analytics, you're dealing with batch data where you don't have the highest performance sensitivity. But in the world of applications, you're dealing with operational data that has the highest performance sensitivity. In the world of analytics, you're now thinking about low concurrency because you have few reports, few queries per second that are being executed concurrently. But in the world of applications, you're talking about lots and lots of users, very dynamic applications being built. These two different worlds exist today as two different use cases with two different types of technologies. But things are starting to change, as evident with all of the companies that are building with Apache Druid. Let's show you how. So what the developers, all these companies are showing us is that there's actually a third market, a third use case that's emerging that's really at the intersection of these two. And so if you think about the convergence of analytics and applications, there's actually an intersection point where organizations and companies are having to innovate and build new use cases that sit at the intersection of analytics and apps, that ultimately need the characteristics of both being able to process large-scale aggregations and group bys and OLAP queries on lots of data, but doing so with the responsiveness, the concurrency, the operational workflow nature of applications. And it's at this intersection point right here that Apache Druid was purpose-built for. And so you got folks at Confluent that are building operational visibility at any scale, leveraging real-time data and being able to slice and dice those data sets to be able to provide visibility to provide the best cloud experience they can to the market. And you have companies like Salesforce that are trying to do slice and dice across lots and lots of users, but across trillions of rows of data all at the same time. And so when you think about Apache Druid, you want to think about 3 different discrete purposes for why people use this kind of technology. The first is the ability to provide sub-second query response times on very large data sets. The second dimension is the ability to support hundreds to thousands of concurrent queries per second, to be able to provide that very fast performance under load with consistency. And the third dimension is the ability to support thousands to millions of events per second, leveraging real-time data with historical context. And so it's for these reasons that folks like Confluent, Twitter, Netflix, Pinterest, Airbnb, and so many others are building with Apache Druid, a database that's purpose-built for the intersection of analytics and applications. Thank you so much.